OnePlus really killed it here on the display situation. Both the inner and outer displays are old panels that peak at 2800 nits. They're incredibly bright, good on colors, and just a pleasure to use. The wider 20:9 aspect ratio of the outer display is pretty much identical in use to a traditional smartphone and leaves the inner display with a near square shape that's slightly taller than it is wide. Using that inner display is a joy, thanks to the crease as mentioned previously, but it's the little things that really help make this stand out. For instance, the screen protector over the ultra-thin glass has a matte finish. This helps cut down on reflections while also better hiding the crease, and it feels good enough to where folks shouldn't be compelled to take it off. It isn't supposed to be removed anyway. The outer display, meanwhile, just feels like a normal phone. Apps behave as expected, and aside from some apps not playing nice between the two screens, more on that later, it's been a pretty smooth experience, unlike how it can be on Samsung's tall and narrow design. Typing too feels very natural, but not quite as comfortable with two-thumb typing as the Pixel Fold. The first thing you'll experience with the OnePlus Open is its hardware, and that's also the part of this device that makes it worth paying attention to. After learning from Oppo's foldable hardware, especially in the Find N2, the OnePlus Open really brings peak foldable hardware to reality. It has a sturdy, reassuring hinge that's rated for a jaw-dropping 1 million folds, a crease that's barely there, and overall hardware that really just feels like what we've always envisioned for a foldable but never got from the likes of Samsung, Google, and other brands. But that comes as no surprise, given that OnePlus is just distributing a global version of the Oppo Find N3, which is practically identical outside of its fit and finish. The hinge is the most impressive part. It still opens completely flat, unlike my Pixel Fold and Galaxy Z Fold 4 after a few weeks of wearing in, and the eagerness of the hinge to open up is so appreciated. I wish it were just a bit more sticky to pose into angles, as I find it a bit tough to lock into a standing position, but the trade-off is well worth it in my opinion. And several weeks in, the crease is still as invisible as the day I opened it for the first time. On the back of the OnePlus Open, you'll find a huge camera module. The circular module juts out of the back of the device and takes up over a third of the total design. This is the first time I've been put off by the physical size of a camera on a smartphone, as it genuinely makes holding the device uncomfortable and doesn't really look all that nice either. But it's totally worth it. Within the honking camera module is a trio of cameras. The primary sensor is a 48 MP stacked camera from Sony Litia, and it's genuinely stunning. Shots from this camera feel incredibly natural without much HDR needed to get a great shot.